In this video, I would like to give you a first look at the upcoming Backlight 4. We're currently testing a pre-release candidate, and we're hoping to have things out sometime this month, if everything goes well, before the Tournigate's 14th anniversary. So in this video, I'm going to walk you around a little bit, show you a few things, not everything, but hopefully enough to pique your interest in the upcoming release. So if you've been watching our videos for a while, then you'll know that I like to divide my screen up like this, that I have Backlight's admin on the right, my website on the left, and then I can slide this back and forth as needed to make more space for myself. One of the things that I'm always doing is moving back and forth between the designer and the publisher. And to do that, I open up the menu and there's this long list. Well, to make things easier, we've added these shortcut icons to the publisher and to the designer so that we don't have to go fishing anymore. For other things, yeah, go fish. But for these common use items, there's now these shortcuts. So I'm going to jump into the publisher and I'm going to open this up a little bit. And if you look at the website side of things, you can see that I've got this album with the icon of it's an I with a slash through it, which means that the album is hidden from public view. I'm seeing it because I'm logged in as an admin user. So that's one of the features that you can have for an album. So we've added, if we go into this tabular display of albums that in a set, you can see we've added this features column. And what this has is a bunch of icons that represent different features that you can enable or disable for an album or a set. If I mouse over these, you can see I get a little bit of explanation. So this icon indicates that it's hidden from the album set, and this icon indicates that it's hidden from search. So this is just a quick way that you can get an overview of everything that you have published on the website, and you can quickly see what's turned on or off for a specific album. Just a convenient way to see some data about what you've published. Also, you may have noticed we've got dates that are displaying on the albums. So if I edit the album and I come down to features, features, we've got this new item, publication date. So publication dates are a brand new feature in Backlight 4, and what this allows you to do is set a date and time at which you would like your albums or album sets to go live on the website. If you leave it empty, then things will behave as they always have. When you create the album, it becomes available. If you set a date that's in the past, of course, it will show up on the website as you would expect with a past date. So if, for example, you want to set the publication date to like the date of your trip or the day that you took the photos in question, you can do that. Or you can just make it the date that you put it on the website. Up to you what you want to use that for. But if you set a date into the future, the album will not appear on the website until that date has passed. So you can create albums in the back end, in the admin, and add things, have them be works in progress, but not have them appear on the website until that time has passed. Not only will they not show up on the website, but the publication date will also be respected by the JSON API as well as the RSS feeds. So it won't be exposed in any way to anyone who's not logged in as admin. When you're configuring a template, you can decide whether or not you want to show this. You can also set the formatting. So let's jump to the template designer. If I come down to the default album set, album grid, album info, we have display published dates as an option. When you turn it off, hide some stuff, but when it's on, you have some options for being able to configure it. So you can set the format, follow this link to see what these tokens mean. You can customize it, style it, whatever. You've got lots of options. While we're in here, we've also in the past had requests. People wanted to have more control over the breadcrumbs that appeared on sets and albums. So now there's a new section of controls specifically for the breadcrumbs. You can style those as much or as little as you like. Yeah, cool. So that is that. Let's move into some more exciting things. I'm going to go into the album. I'm going to open an image, and this looks like it always has, right? So let's go back into the template designer and open up the template, get into the photo presentation. So Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, I don't love you anymore. I can now turn off the social media sharing. They're gone. So that's super convenient. But if we scroll down a little further, we have the new metadata display, and we can turn that on. And then we have a bunch of options, and we can configure metadata tokens. There's also in Backlight 4 a lot of new metadata tokens that have been added and are now newly supported. That will be in our documentation. I'm not going to dive into those in this video, but they exist. So now that I have this turned on, I am going to save this. And what we see is that we can now display metadata in this information panel. Oops. So we get the aperture, the shutter speed, title, caption, and this is all configurable. You can use any of the metadata tokens you like to display extra information. In addition, now that having this open is actually super useful, the creator can decide to have this open or closed by default when a new person visits the gallery. But either way, once the user interacts with the gallery, we save their preference. So if I close this, and I close the slideshow, and I open it back up, it's still closed. If I open it, close the slideshow, open it back up, it stays open. So we're storing that as a user preference in their browser so that if they want to see this information, they don't have to open up the panel every time they open a new image, because that would get really tiresome really quickly, right? And you've got 8 slots. You can show 8 separate line items of metadata, but then also if you want to show more than that, you could combine them. So you could take the aperture token and you could lump it together with shutter speed and do make this exposure. So while you have only 8 slots to work with, you can definitely configure them to show more than 8 pieces of metadata. I am going to turn this off. And I'm going to come down to add-on features, and I'm going to enable the client response gallery, or the client response feature set. So now we can, do selects, send feedback. If you've been using the client response add-on, you are well familiar with these features, but we have a new feature that has been much requested. So if I select some images, we now get this download button in the action bar. If I click download, that will create a zip file of my selected images that I can download immediately. So that's awesome. People have been asking for that for a long time. We had a lot of foundational things we had to do before we could add it, but Backlight 4 is the one. I think there's just one more thing I'm going to show you. And for that, I'm going to go back to the galleries page, and I'm going to jump into this album set. And we're going to go to the publisher. I'm going to change templates. From default album set to journal demo. Save that. I'm going to refresh the page. And this is Pangolin Journal, a brand new design module that is shipping with Backlight 4. This is not an add-on. It is a part of the core Backlight 4 application, and everybody is getting this. What it allows you to do is it's for creating album sets. So it's an alternative to using Pangolin album set. But the underlying concept was creating a set with something more akin to a magazine or journal-like layout. So as I scroll through the page, you can see the first item is big features, takes up the full page. The next two, split the width between them. As I move down, I've got the screen split with different proportions. I think this is 65-35 or 60-40. This is the same but flipped. And then finish off the page with a repeating pattern of 3 across. And then when I go responsive, I've got rules in place that allow things to collapse nicely for that scrolling experience on mobile phones. So this is, I think, a really exciting new way of presenting your album sets. I'm going to do another video, maybe more than one, that walks you through how to use it. So there will be a tutorial about designing with Pangool and Journal. Probably the next thing that I create will be that video. And I think that's going to wrap it for this first look at Backlight 4. I hope something in here has captured your interest. As I said, this is not an exhaustive review of all the new features. There's definitely more stuff, and we'll be sharing that when we release Backlight 4. So yeah, until then, this is Matt signing off from the Turning Gate, and I hope you all are excited. Thanks for watching. We'll talk at you soon. Bye.